Good evening. My name is Jack Dearborn. I'm chairman of the Weare Zoning Board of Adjustments. This is the February 9th, 2016 meeting. This evening we have three cases. We have case number 0116 and special exception. Is somebody here for that one? Oh, okay. And we have case 0216, Fernell, and it's a variance. Somebody here for that? Very good. And number 3, we have 0316, Walton for variance. Very good, thank you. Okay, everybody's here. First thing what I'm going to do is introduce the board this evening with Mark.
Mark Moretti, member.
Stu Richmond, a member.
Michael Meyer, alternate.
Malcolm Wright, member.
Thank you. These 5 members will be seated for all 3 cases this evening. The way we run the meeting is each case will be taken separately. I'll first read the case and basically laying out what it is, the application, and then I will ask for a motion on the board to accept it in order to hear it. What I mean by accepting it is that we believe we have adequate information to proceed with the case. After that, I will ask the applicant to come forwards, and the board have an opportunity to ask any questions that they may have regarding the case before we start the testimony on behalf of the applicant. Then I will ask, after that's done, the board's done questions with the applicant, we'll ask that individual to sit down. Then I'll ask all approving abutters to speak if they wish. Disapproving abutters speak. Other boards, public at large. Then after that, I'll ask the applicant to come up again and rebut anything that may have been said. And I'll go through it one more time. Approving abutters, disapproving, public at large, other boards. After that, that concludes the public meeting for the case. After that, I will shut down the public meeting, and then the board will deliberate on the case. So that's pretty much how we run this evening. And the only time we ask people to speak is when they're recognized and at the podium. And we'd ask you to clearly state your name when you come up to the podium, so that our minute taker secretary can adequately and accurately record your comments. Okay. Okay, so this is case 0116, applicant Caracas. Very good, okay. Lisa, and it's 75 Pond View Drive, Weare, New Hampshire. The owner be at the same, and the property is map 108, lot 42, and it's a residential zone. And the intent of this is to, the property frontage is 200 feet by roughly 768 deep, 4.05 acres. Proposed use or existing use, finished area above my garage for use as an in-law apartment. It's already an existing structure, just want to make it into I guess be an in-law apartment. Okay. We call it accessory apartment. That's technically how it's called up in the zone. Why does your proposed use require an appeal to the Zoning Board of Adjustments to get an approval for a building permit, in-law apartment, in the existing house, Article 19, Section 2, 19.1 through 19.1, 10.7. Okay, we have the special exception filled out. We have a sheet checklist complete. We have a list of abutters. We have a quick claim deed. We have a dimensional drawing. You got two copies on these?
Yeah.
Yeah, are they the same? Are these the same?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's a duplicate of a top-down looking floor plan, dimension, and 637 feet. There is a view of the garage showing a stairway and a foyer breezeway access. Uh, 4.05 acres with the hand-drawn 200-foot frontage. It shows the house, the garage, and parking area. Is this duplicate as well?
Could be, yeah.
There's a tax schedule. We have a copy of a tax map indicating where it is. Okay. Any questions on the board for the application? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept case 0116.
Move to accept case 0116.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Second, thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Being none, abstentions being none. Okay, whoever would like to speak to the application, welcome to come up. Do you have a copy of your application with you?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Well, I'll let you use mine.
Okay.
And the important thing is that you read your application into the minutes. So you get a chance to say what you wrote, and it gets everybody else in the audience to hear what you wrote. And so if you want to just go down through the question, read the question and get out through.
Okay. You want to just start at the top of the application?
Sure, one.
Okay. The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use or uses in terms of overall community development. Yes. The existing home sits on 4.05 acres and the in-law apartment is constructed without any change to the exterior of the building. Oh, go on. The proposed use will not adversely affect the neighborhood and shall produce no significant reduction of real estate values in the neighboring area. Yes, it won't.
You should read your answers.
You don't want me to read the question?
I want you to read the question and the answer.
Okay.
Because what's happening here is nobody in the audience has a copy of what you have in front of you. And in order you to have those folks to understand what you're asking for, we ask you to read the question and read your answer.
Okay.
Okay?
So the proposed use will not adversely affect the neighborhood and shall produce no significant reduction in real estate values in the neighboring area. And I put the in-law apartment is an already existing structure. There is no change to the exterior building. The proposed use will not be a nuisance or serious hazard to vehicular traffic or pedestrians. And I put it's not a nuisance or hazard. It is for my kids who already lived in the house. There is not a change because they lived there and then they moved out again. And the proposed use will not cause an undue burden on the town through the provision of basic town services. And I put no undue burden except a tiny bit of trash to be recycled at the traffic station. Adequate off-street parking be provided if determined necessary by the zoning board of adjustment. And I put there's enough parking in the driveway for all of our cars. A buffer may be required to screen neighboring uses for the proposed use. Buffers may be fence screens, dense planting, or suitable trees and shrubbery or naturally occurring shrubs and trees. And I put no buffer needed. There is woods on either side of me separating our houses. And the zoning board of adjustment in granting any special exception may include such restrictions or conditions to ensure compliance with this section. And I put our existing house has 3 bedrooms. There are currently 2 people using the house, 1 adult, 1 child. And my son will move back home with his family, 1 adult and 2 children.
Okay. Very good. Now, the reason the special exception means you kind of get the request for a special exception by right. Does that mean if you meet these 7 points of requirements that I've just read. As long as you meet them, you'll get the special exception. The intent of the special exception was that we do require certain requirements for a duplex. In this case, we're constraining, the town of Weare decided to constrain the build-out of a accessory apartment to less than 650 square feet or less, and they have 637. Requires them not to have a access door facing the road. That's why they're entering through the garage. So there's certain conditions placed, and what they were really trying to do, the town of Weare zoning, when they voted it in, is to limit somebody getting a single-family house and creating a duplex. That's why we're here tonight on this case. Okay, any questions of the applicant from the board? Being none, take a seat.
Thank you.
Any approving abutter wish to speak on the behalf of the applicant? Come on down.
I just have
Your name?
Cindy Rooney.
Thank you.
I'm actually right next to Lisa, the wooded lot.
And what lot do you live on, do you know?
67 Pond View, so it's right next to, I have my paperwork with me if you need to know the lot number.
Okay.
I just had a quick question, and I was just wondering, I know it's always been a concern about amount of people living on the road because of the informal association. So I was just curious if there was any improvements or anything that needed to be done to the road for her to allow other people to live on the road. I know right now it's for your son, and if you think of the adults and child ratio, it's probably the same as any family. But down the road, you don't know how that's gonna be, so I was just wondering if there was any
It's a town road,
improvements.
Isn't it a town road?
No,
It's a class 5 road?
It's a
private.
Is it a private road?
Yeah.
Oh, Pondo, yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I was just wondering if anything had to be done to the road first, because I know it was a concern.
Not that the town requires.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other approving abutter wish to speak on behalf? Any disapproving abutter wish to speak? Other boards, being none, and public at large wish to speak? Being none, would you like to have another opportunity to rebut anything that was said?
Do I need to, like?
You have the option. You don't have to, but you have the option to rebut it. If
Okay.
you think anything needs to be rebutted based on other abutters, you're welcome to say something. If not, 2 seconds.
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, with this, I will, any other board members? No questions? At this time, we will close down the public meeting, and this becomes a meeting for the board to deliberate on this case. Okay. This can be done with one vote. So, we always make a motion to accept in the positive. Yes means yes, no means no. Nobody hopefully gets confused. With that, can I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept case number 0116.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Very good. Any discussion? Being none? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Being none, and abstentions? Being none. 5-0-0. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Meets all the criteria, so.
It's a little warm in here.
Yeah, I was thinking about turning the air conditioner on. Or opening the window if someone feels so inclined. The heat is controlled by the clerk's office.
I know how to fix the air conditioner, I don't know what.
And they are obsessed with being warm.
It's our
gotta be.
But it gives us more heat in here than the other one.
Yeah,
Assume-
and we can't get in there to
Okay.
change it.
We should crack that window too. Unseasonably warm. Okay,
No, I haven't tried it. Just turned it on.
next we're gonna take up
That's the one I turned on.
0216. Applicant is Danielle and Denise Farrell, 77 Daniels Road, Weare, New Hampshire, 03281. Address the same, property address the same, map. It's 110-88 and residential zone. Expanded Cape, 2.3 acres. 0.23 acres, excuse me. Let's see here. You give them southwest 71 feet, northeast 83.3 feet. From the rear of the house, left side, right side, northwest 86 feet on the lake side and 85.3 access road side. Okay, proposed use, two-story garage, office on second level in addition to rear of house. Office work is computer work and telephone calls, no customer traffic. Okay, we have a non-conforming lot to maintain a 50-foot distance from the water edge. We do not have enough footage to add the garage and have 50 or 30 feet? 30 feet from the access road. Lot just isn't big enough. Also, the only place we can put the addition is at the rear of the house. Okay. This is a variance. The 5 points of hardship are completed. The application checklist is a butters list. There is a warranty deed. There is a garage shown on I assume it's proposed garage, shown on a existing house and seasonal porch. Looks like a pictorial of a garage, property card, and there is a tax map. Very good. With that, oh, there's another map here. Is this the same as the other one? Bigger? Okay, this is the map. Oh, this is actually a site plan, I guess. Yeah, site plan. Dated 11/14/2013, and a surveyor stamped. Okay. With that, motion to accept the application.
Move to accept, the application case number 0216.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, 500. Okay, applicant? Whoever would like to speak to the, request? Again, if you would read the question and also the answer, if you would please.
Which one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The sequence.
Give me your name.
My name is Denise Farrell.
My name's Dan Farrell.
Okay, it says that the granting of the variance will not be contrary to the public interest because We are not proposing any changes to the currently approved town zoning. It would not be contrary to the public interest. This is a small, non-conforming lot. 2, the variance requested will not be contrary to the spirit of the ordinance because this is a private addition to an existing house. The addition and garage variance is needed because of the small, non-conforming lot. Number 3, that through the granting of relief by variance, substantial justice will be done because the staircase is not to code. Furniture cannot be brought up or down without removing railings and hoisting furniture and other things up and down. My husband has leg braces. He is not able to use. He has an unstated gait. He cannot use these stairs. Staircase would be relocated to the house addition. I also have employees that do data entry and file. Currently, they work in the house, and the second story of the garage would serve as an office and provide us some privacy. Number 4, that by granting the variance, the values of surrounding properties will not be diminished. This is a residential home with a proposed residual addition to the garage, addition and garage. The addition and garage will increase the value of the house. Residential use in a neighborhood that is also residential and would not reduce values. My business is a medical coding and billing service. Clients and physician's office is located in Mississippi, therefore we have no client traffic. Number 5, to qualify for a variance, you must demonstrate that denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship pursuant to applicable law. The test for unnecessary hardship is set forth in 2 alternative parts, parts A and B as follows. A, unnecessary hardship means that owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. 1 is no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. And 2, the proposed use is a reasonable one. Accordingly, while having the foregoing standards in Part A in mind, please provide the following facts relative to your application. A, it says, please describe the special conditions of your property that distinguish it from other properties. There are no distinguishing conditions that from other properties. This is a small non-conforming property that generally require a variance for any changes to the property, primarily because of the size. Please indicate how, owing to special conditions identified above, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. These are all residential properties. There would be fair and substantial relationship between the general public. This is an addition and garage to a private residence. And how the proposed use is reasonable. 1, the request is reasonable because it would allow a normal staircase, one that my husband can use, and furniture can be moved more easily up and down. The second level of the garage would provide us some privacy since this would become the office. Is that everything? Okay, and then B? Did I read section B? B, if the criteria in paragraph A are not established, an unnecessary hardship will be deemed to exist if and only if, owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. Accordingly, while having the foregoing standards in Part B in mind, please provide the following facts relative to your application. Please describe the special conditions of your property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. This is a non-conforming property, as is most of the properties in the area. I don't feel that our property does distinguish it from other properties, except for the unusual, totally impractical staircase. You'd have to see the staircase. He's seen it. We also have very little in a way of storage, and these changes would also provide much needed storage. The way the house is now is a hardship on both my husband and myself. It says, please indicate how, owing to the special conditions identified above, your property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. Because it is a non-conforming property, the size of the property in addition to being a waterfront property, does not allow for any changes without a variance. I think that's everything. Is that everything?
Is that all five? Okay. Just a second. Any questions from the board you wish to ask the applicant before we ask for other input? Being none, we have a seat. I don't know, any approving of butters wish to speak on behalf of the application? Any disapproving of butters wish to speak on behalf of the boards, public at large? Being none, I guess at this point I'm gonna shut down the public hearing. And I will entertain each of the significant 1 through 5 incrementally a motion.
Move to accept point 1.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 500. Two.
Move to accept number 2.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 500. Number 3, please.
Move to accept number 3.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 500.
Move
4.
Move to accept number 4.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Being none, and abstention being 500. And then 5 in its entirety.
Move to accept number 5 in its entirety.
Second that.
Second, thank you. And discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions, 500. Passed. We have to do each one separately. You talk to Chip tomorrow, whenever. You'll-
Yeah, I'll be out in the morning, but I'll be back in the afternoon. You will be notified that the variance has been granted and that you have 2 years to exercise it. If you do not, then, and I'm sure you're gonna do it, but if you don't, you have to come back and do this all over again. There are no more extensions for variances.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to 0316. I have some questions before we even start. There's a lot of material in the package, and it looks like some of it's duplicate, so I want to know what's what. So, I do have, let's see here. It's Michael and Yvonne Walton, 9 Trolley Car Lane, Londonderry, New Hampshire, and property 280 Maple Wall Road, Weare, New Hampshire, map 407, lot 119.1, residential agriculture. Okay, there is a checklist, then there is a C attached for the 5 points of hardship, and we've got what appears to be a variance application with a language typed on it, and there's another one in here with a language typed on it. Which one do they want us to use?
Well, originally they did the one that said "see attached," and I spoke to them about that and said, you know, you need to use the original application rather than just writing "see
So they want us
attached."
to use this insert.
That, I believe, would be up to them. There are 3 copies in there.
Just about identical, yes.
Well, we're only gonna listen to one. Okay, and we gotta figure out which one it is.
If you're willing to accept the "see attached" on the first one, use the first one.
Well, I don't know if they're the same.
They are. They've told me that they are. Of what I read of them, they are.
They looked it.
Well, why don't we use this one? Because this has our typed in questions.
Sure.
We fell apart before on that. I did check it, they are the same questions, but. So, what is included in the staple package is gonna be removed, and we're gonna use this one, okay?
Staple. Which one?
I just crossed out the staple package. They typed this one, included it, so Chip asked them to cut and paste. Where's your package?
It's all on here. This is the second one we'll do. Oh, this.
So, when you get up, have you got a copy of this?
Yeah, I think,
We need you to read, we need you to read from it, okay?
Yep.
That was the reason, okay?
okay, I'll use that one instead. I felt that the original type one was easier to read for you as well, but I'll be happy to go with the one.
Yeah, and the reason is, we've had some people come in and retype it, and they type the questions differently,
Okay,
and you're not coming in with the right 5 questions. So, we throw the application out.
okay,
So, we make them come back.
that's all right.
That's why
I have the same thing that you're probably, I imagine.
You're welcome to
reading.
read off this if you
Yeah.
wanna,
I'll be happy to do that.
okay? Okay. That being said, list of abutters, there's a warranty deed, there is a tax map. Oh, there's a couple pages for the tax map, and there's a schedule. Okay. Then, I have some minutes for the, you all have minutes for the,
Planning board?
planning board, which is a bunch of conditions under Maple Wall, Roman numeral 2, Maple Wall. These are the minutes of January 7th, 2016, and they are draft. Okay, you got it? It's staple. Maybe it's right here.
Gave it to you tonight.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We have an agreement between the town of Weare, agreement and release. No date on the front page, but
I have the signed copy.
Yep.
And I will be registering that tomorrow.
it's in witness whereof February 8th, 2016, on page 3 of 5. There's some other, well, I guess they're all, yeah, some various dates, but going on page 3 of 5, it's February 8th. Okay. We got a survey done by Mike Dahlberg, 8907. Now, my understanding is supposed to be a updated version of this?
Yes, that's one of the
Do we have
requirements.
the updated version?
No, that's one of the requirements.
So that is a draft. You got an issue with that one.
Well, the only thing they're gonna update is the easement for the
I know,
road.
we wanna see that. Dahlberg has also got a, looks like a topography map. That is dated 8907, that shouldn't change.
No.
There's a map. The land of Donald G. Canton
That, I believe,
subdivision plan, but there's no stamp on it. There's no, yes there is. There's a Dahlberg stamp.
that's the original subdivision plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I was looking by it. Put it up.
Same review. So you have a stamped subdivision plan, Chip?
No, but I believe that plan has been recorded. Isn't there there's a book and
No.
page for that?
I don't recognize it as being recorded.
Well, I'm sure they can explain that. The subdivision has been recorded. There were actually two subdivisions. One was in '92 and the other was in '98, and I believe they were both recorded. The '98 is the one that's current.
That's all the paper I've got.
This one is just the original. That.
That's what. So they're
This is
same,
the same. This-
different
yeah,
size?
This is the roll-up of that. Okay.
Same mark,
Yeah.
same date.
Okay.
And then to the two, and then to the two.
Well, my concern about going forwards tonight is there's a map, albeit re-identifying the easement. We should have that as far as the case goes. And what I'd like to recommend is that we do not accept this for this evening. And when they get that map done, bring it in and we'll continue it to the next meeting.
Did you think about which map you would request input?
My understanding is you are required to change the easement on the map, am I correct? Chip?
There needs to be an easement granted to the town for the drainage on Maplewald, and the easement needs to be surveyed and recorded for the road.
Okay, was that part of the contingent approval that just happened last night?
Yeah,
Because we didn't have it done because it was just contingently
Yeah.
approved last night.
yeah, yep.
So we haven't had the opportunity to have.
Oh, he's not yelling at you, he's just telling you that.
I'm making a statement of fact.
When you get that done, you
But
can come
we
back.
understood that we could move forward with this with that contingency.
Right.
Well, I said you could ask for that.
Okay.
He's the guy you have to ask.
Chip doesn't speak for the board, nor do I just recommend. And nor do the selectmen, we're independent. So, before we go forwards with this, we'd like to get that map in our hands, so we know what we're dealing with, to be honest with you. Because when we grant this, I prefer not to do things conditionally, because when we do it, the package is here, and then from that time we approve this, should we approve it, there's a 2-year period going by, and if you guys don't get it done in 2 years, we've had some issues where some documents come in late. So now we start arguing about which document, the decision by the board, or when the conditional piece of paper get returned back to us. So, to clear that up really simple, we will, I want to table this for this evening. We didn't accept it yet. And I'm not throwing it out, I'm just saying we need one more piece of paper. It's a relatively complicated case. There isn't a single piece, there's 4 pieces in play here. And before we get into that, and the reason I don't want to go forwards is because if we go halfway through it here, or go through most of it, and we leave and come back the next time, we assume everybody remembers what's going on. There's a possibility it might be a little confusing, And I don't wanna have to do the whole case over again, because then, in which case, which set of minutes am I gonna use? I'd rather be clean and start off, and this is why we have the vote to accept this for the hearing tonight. And I would, ask for the board, for somebody on the board to move to accept this. My recommendation, we turn it down pending, that map the next time. Is there anything else? I've
So what we're
exhausted.
look- So what we're looking for is just the one very,
The drainage.
I wanna be very clear what we're looking for. Is it an update of this 807? Is it an update of Mr. Dahlberg's map?
If I may, Jack,
Go ahead.
you need a plan showing the easement for the road and the deeded easement to the town for drainage.
Right.
Can we have a written copy of that, of those requests from the meeting?
Last night,
Yes,
I haven't gotten the minutes yet.
okay.
It'll probably be out in a few days.
If you repeat it, I will.
Yes. You need an updated plan showing the easement for the road and the deeded easement for the drive, or for the drainage on Maplewald. And those are things that the planning board recommended be done.
The deed for the easement for drainage on Maple Wall, can you tell me what that refers to specifically?
Does the planning board have-
I'm gonna give you a copy of these minutes.
We wanna make sure,
last night.
no, this was
Last night was the planning
This
board.
was the planning board recommendation to the selectmen.
These are the things that you were
So we will have a
driveway ground, culvert pipe, et cetera, et
subdivision.
It's already been subdivided. Yeah, it's been incremental over
cetera.
years.
Same.
I think we're gonna have to go patchwork, because never was done as one.
Easement shown on
I'll
plan
ask the question.
2283 in the Hillsborough County Registry of Deeds has been deeded to the
I
town
wanted to see what the
per the plan and the
easement
easement shown on all of
We
the
got it.
plans be modified so that as-built driveway location falls within the easement. So that's, you need to put the road on a map, the driveway on a map, the drainage
Yeah.
on a map.
We'll leave them to
Have
him
it all
and
done
then entertain a
stamped by a
motion.
surveyor, and you will record it.
Don't let him
Now,
tell
my
what-
Yeah, oh, yeah.
question is, how long will that take? Because if they're talking about extending this, I believe they have to extend it time specific. So if you could do it by next month, that's March 2nd.
We're gonna extend it there to next month.
I would recommend that you ask for an extension at least until April, unless you could get this done in the next 2 weeks.
They've already said they wouldn't want to do the work in the snow
Because of snow
and the
and all
mud.
that
Well, a
stuff.
surveyor, you're not talking about, this is just deeding an easement, you don't have
This
to get
is
an
not building the
excavator,
road,
this is not
this is
building
just the
anything.
plan.
It's just getting a plan in, the surveyor can do it in mud season.
No.
I'm not talking about getting somebody to do an excavator and start doing it.
So, the guy that we had up there, we send it up there, we can do that.
Yeah, or Steve said he has another surveyor who already surveyed the lot for him.
Okay, you guys got the requirement?
Yes, Chip just gave us
Okay,
this.
thank you. I wanna continue with.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
All right.
I wanna make sure you guys are all set. Since this is a relatively confusing, subdivision, this was done incrementally, Chip?
Yes, what happened was this was a, one of those
Bonafide gift.
bona fide gifts back in the 90s. If they had built back then, they would have been fine. They had actually started developing their land when they came in to see me to get a building permit. I said, sorry, I can't give you one because you have no road access. So part of this procedure has been to get the goat path that's drawn on the map now with an easement listed across it for all of the parties that live there, to be classified as a private road and give it a name, which they did last night. It has officially been designated as Sparrow Road, and those requirements are what needs to be done to get the road accepted. The second part of it is the variance that's required for them because they have no road frontage on a Class 5 road.
You say road, so they're actually gonna be putting in a road up there? Or is
Well,
this gonna be
yeah,
an
the
easement?
road is already there. For all practical purposes, the road is there. It needs a little bit of work on the lower end of it. There's some drainage problems, which is why we need the drainage easement.
Does that fall within the easement?
I believe it does, but
So that's
somebody's
what we
got to
have to do.
survey it to make sure. So once that is done, they then officially have a road. Once they have a road, then they need a variance to build because they don't have frontage on a Class 5 road.
Now, is it correct, because I only heard this through hearsay, there are other people that may wish to use that road for other lots like this?
There is only one, and he has signed the hold harmless agreement,
Mhm.
which is why that agreement was important. All of,
There are 3 lots back there total. I own one of the back lots.
right,
So I own
so,
the front lot and the back lot.
right, so she owns 2, they own 1, and a guy named Gordon Parker owns the last lot. He has signed that.
Okay, so we only got a single lot out of the 4 that are going forward tonight.
Yes,
Just wanna make
yes.
sure.
She doesn't need a variance because her house is already on a Class 5 road.
Right.
When or if she ever decides, Danielle decides to expand on the 4th lot, she will then need a variance for up there. And Mr. Parker will need a variance as well, but before any of the people involved could get a variance, they had to have a road.
I wonder if it's possible for somebody to take a tax map and identify all these 4 and play on it.
They're on there.
Well, yeah, I can't tell which one's which.
What I was kind of missing here, didn't see any of the other lots.
I mean, if I looked at the tax map, I couldn't tell which one's which.
If you look at the Canton, the last was
I'm not
the,
asking for a kit, I'm asking for,
no, it was the last page, that one right there.
May I come up?
Donald, she can show
yeah,
you.
I wanna make sure, when we get here next time, I wanna know what we got. How many lots? Is this your lot right here? Maple Wall?
Yeah, so, he's right. They don't have a map that shows.
Correct.
Yeah, the lots.
If you just took the tax
Okay.
map,
Yeah,
and
this
somebody
is
can
not
add
the
it,
most current tax map. So this is where my current house is, on Maple Wall. And this shows their lot in question.
Mhm.
There's an additional lot that, Mr. Parker owns, and then there's a back lot that I also own. So this is lot 119, this is lot 119-1, 119-2, 119-3.
Okay, what we'd like to do is see
I want a piece of paper,
the whole,
an excerpt,
the whole
no.
layout.
I wanna have one annotated, I don't wanna have a kit where I'm putting together
Yeah.
this stuff.
This is,
Didn't I give you
You may have, but I don't know which one's the which.
407, 119? Right there.
That shows the easement?
That shows
yes, that shows the easement.
Yeah.
the easement and the lots.
Right, because this actually goes on to another map.
I know, that's why I say, I don't wanna see a kit. Somebody bring in an excerpt of the combined, for that particular piece, blow it up, what are you gonna do? And list down who owns which one. And bring it in next time, so we have a piece of paper to work from.
Stop in and see Wendy. And
I think it's fairly
she
simple.
can put these 2 things together,
I
because
don't
there's a
wanna be-
match already.
I don't wanna be generating it, okay?
Sure.
Because I could make an error on it, I'd rather have it be submitted. Okay. I'd like a motion. Somebody move to
Make a
accept.
motion to accept case number 0316.
Second?
Second?
Discussion, I would recommend we put this off till, what's the date, in March?
March is March 2nd,
March 2nd.
and can they ask for an extension if they're not ready by March 2nd?
You gotta let him know ahead of time so he can request it. I just wanna make sure we have all the information at one time, so we don't keep kicking the can, and when all of a sudden, I do not like going through the hearing until we get all the information. So we're not rejecting your application, we're asking you to bring more in for it. Okay. Next time, we'll
We can do that.
revisit the motion, and so now we gotta,
Move to, see case 0316 on the March 2nd meeting.
okay,
Let's take care of the motion that's on the floor now.
we'll take that as a goes. Okay. So, we had a discussion. I'm gonna ask for those people who wish to accept the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Or not.
What's the motion on the table? We got,
Yeah,
right,
I'm
the motion.
confused, I'm confused.
The motion is to accept case 0316.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Let's try this again. All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed?
no.
Aye.
Thank you. And abstentions? The 050. So, and we're asking for the easements survey, correct?
Yes.
And a composite of the two tax maps that delineate who owns what piece of property. You can blow it up,
Yeah.
tape it,
That's simple.
put the names on. I think that's fairly simple, but I think it wants to be part of the record for the case.
I understand, we were only concerned with our own lot,
Yeah.
I know,
but I hear you.
if it was only one lot, it would be easy.
Yep.
Or if it was only two lots, it'd be easy. But now it's four. So I think we need to know this in the future, because if somebody comes in and asks for the same in the future, we'd like to understand it from a record what we did. Okay.
And that document will be recordable, so the surveyor make sure that he does a Mylar. Once it's accepted, we can sign and send it to the recorder.
We have these two items left.
Okay. At this point, we're done for the evening with you folks, and we will take minutes. Minutes here. Oops. Minutes.
I have a only meeting due December.
Did we already distribute the minutes from December?
That's the only ones that I have left to do.
I'm sorry?
But I only have us needing to do December.
I got an
We
October
have October here.
minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it was October, I'm sorry.
I didn't,
Yeah,
I made
go
you
ahead.
jump on me. You just, you all got.
What's that, October?
Yeah.
I think that's all I have.
Did we accept those already?
I have us in the
Says draft
December
here.
meeting.
Were we here in December?
We were.
We weren't here in January.
So where's December's?
I should have had them emailed.
Don't know.
So we've got-
I must have missed them if
Oh,
they're here.
We've
Okay.
got draft minutes here of January 7th. Did we hear January 7th?
No, that's not
Mhm.
in here.
January 7th? Oh, I'm sorry.
Planning board.
so we already accepted October's?
Yeah, because I have the wrong date in the,
Okay, we'll take up December's.
I'll make sure I find them.
I'll re-email them.
So we're done with October.
No,
You won't.
nobody does.
Nobody does.
October.
Yeah, I have them
Oh, yeah, we do,
accepted in.
sorry.
What's this?
So we do have one more piece of
Which,
information.
which one were you saying was accepted, October's?
I have us accepting October's and November's and December.
Yeah.
So it's a moot point.
Well, what's the question?
What are we doing here?
No, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go on to Mr. Booton. His request for extended, but what are we doing on minutes? We're gonna do December's and
We're all caught up.
March.
March, thank you. Okay,
It was, he had a question, so that's what I was answering.
he's had a lot tonight. Motion to accept
Move to grant it.
Michelle Booton, extension?
Move to accept, granting extension for variance.
Second?
Second?
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Being none, extension being none. Motion to adjourn?
Who's coming out?
Move to adjourn.
I've already paid for them. As soon
Yeah.
as they
Second?
process the checks, we'll have them.
Second.
They got a nice cover.
Discussion, being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.